Hello, this is a session on how to perfect transcending from the Veda and Vedic literature. From the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, through relaxation of effort and absorption in the infinite, the posture is perfected. So posture, or asana, is seated in oneself, so all the asanas culture this ability for the mind and body to be integrated and to be unified, which is yoga. Yoga means unification. And so relaxation of effort means we go to the point of gentle, comfortable stretch in an asana, and then allow the attention to go to the stretch effortlessly. And the stretch relaxes, is replaced by pleasantness. And that pleasantness spreads all over with the asanas and gives rise to the dawn of unboundedness, or absorption in the infinite. So these two aspects of asana, relaxation of effort and the dawn of unboundedness, or the absorption in the infinite, that perfects the asanas and also perfects the ability, or helps culture the ability to transcend. From the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, the main textbook on yoga asanas and yoga, whether young, mature, old, or lacking strength, pretty much anybody, one who discards laziness and practices yoga regularly gets success. So again, regular practice of our program, asanas, pranayama, and meditation. From the Upanishads is the aspect of Vedic literature that describes the transcendent. Upanishad means to sit down near the transcendent. So it's all about the transcendent. Through oneself is acquired strength, self capital S. So gaining the self, gaining transcendence gives great strength. Through knowledge is attained immortality. So knowledge means experience and understanding, complete knowledge. And pure knowledge is experience and understanding of the self. So that's pure knowledge, Maharishi calls it. Direct experience and understanding the experience and how to culture, which is what we're doing right here. Knowledge attained immortality. Now, immortality is a big word. And what it means is once we've captured pure consciousness permanently in cosmic consciousness and in higher states of consciousness, then that consciousness is ours permanently. We're part of that eternal continuum of consciousness. That is our own awareness. And so that isn't lost. Even if the physiology departs, consciousness still remains. We have that awareness. So that's what it means there. And from Shvetashvatara Upanishad, another Upanishad, when the yogi attains balance, then he becomes possessed of a body made of the fire of yoga, without disease, old age, or death. So once one gains balance, and the only field of perfect balance is the unified field, pure consciousness, which has no imbalance or possibility of imbalance. It's perfectly balanced. Infinite silence, infinite dynamism, perfectly coexistent eternally. So that's the ultimate state of balance. And then once one captured that, the physiology, the body made of the fire of yoga, the fire of the body is called Kaya or Agni, and that's that quality of transforming intelligence which maintains the physiology in a healthy state. We know the central importance of Agni in Ayurveda. So if the Agni is completely strong and balanced, then we have long life, disease-free life. And death is overcome, not that the physiology can become immortal. Oh, that is possible. It's described in the Vedic literature. But one, again, gains that, captures that state where consciousness, that continuum is never lost. And never means immortality, never. Shiva Sutra. Shiva is that aspect of natural law which is infinite silence and reflected by the whole brain and Dr. Nader's discovery of Vedic physiology. Total brain functioning in its silent mode is Shiva. So from that part of the Vedic literature, established in asana, that means seated in oneself, seated in comfortably in the physiology, one easily dives in the ocean of pure consciousness. So that's a common experience. We do the asanas and meditation is smoother. It seems to settle more effortlessly, just because the physiology, mind and body are connected. And from the Yoga Sutras, again, of Patanjali. Sutra means thread, a stitch of knowledge of unity. From worship of God comes perfection of samadhi, or pure consciousness. And Maharishi actually describes that in the last slide. I'll get to it, but just to give a glimpse. Worship of God doesn't just mean prayer or thought of God, which is part of it, but actual communion with that aspect of cosmic intelligence, which is creating, maintaining, and supporting the whole universe. That value of total natural law, cosmic intelligence. And once we've gained cosmic consciousness, The stresses are all gone. And then the senses become very refined and begin to appreciate finer aspects of creation, more of the subtle laws of nature and that underlying glow and that celestial level of perception where we see a tremendous creativity and intelligence in nature and everything, and that culture's appreciation, love, and ultimately devotion. And that's what, when worship of God becomes hugely significant, because it takes one from cosmic consciousness, where the self is separate from activity and perception, to God consciousness, where the inner unbounded self and the outer celestial, beautiful, very refined value of creation is very close. And so then samadhi becomes perfect. There's no inner and outer, there's not much difference. And ultimate in unity consciousness, there is no difference. Everything is that ocean of consciousness in motion. So the health tip is practice yoga daily. And these are the 8 limbs of yoga of Patanjali. The yamas, the 5 yamas, the observances, cosmic value of natural law, truthfulness, non-violence, non-accumulation, pure lifestyle, and non-covetousness, non-desiring something that doesn't belong to one. The niyamas are codes of conduct for individual behavior. So purity, contentment, austerity means not so involved in the senses. Study of the self, experience of the self, swadhyaya, daily, which is transcending, and worship of God, as we've seen. Asana, posture, practicing the asanas every day. Pranayama, regulation of breath, to refine that interface between consciousness, physiology, and mind, is the breath. Prana, the life force. Pratyahara, coming out of the field of the senses. Ahara is food. Retiring from the field of the senses, we close our eyes and sit in a quiet place. Is pratyahara. Dharana is steadiness of mind. We talked about steadiness. The mind becomes naturally engaged in increasing charm. Dhyan is the flow of mind from gross, active thinking mind to subtle levels, fine feeling level, transcendent. And then samadhi is the transcendent. So that's the whole field of yoga. And on the path, Maharishi suggested, it's part of our purification process to culture the natural ability to see the good in everything. This will naturally dispose the mind to appreciate in greater appreciation, and that accelerates that fine perception of the divine in everything. And here's the quote from the Bhagavad Gita on Maharishi about devotion. By the practice of the teaching, all that we've just discussed, the heart and mind of the seeker are automatically refined to become capable of devotion. This devotion develops God consciousness, in which unity becomes a living reality of life, and the possibility of any kind of duality is completely eliminated. From chapter 6, verse 35. So all of this process of Ayurveda and yoga, of refining the physiology, stabilizing pure consciousness, then naturally a step is from cosmic consciousness to God consciousness, that devotion. And that's when samadhi becomes perfected, ultimately in unity consciousness. So enjoy your program every day.